Shiva 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 Shambho, Shiva 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 Shambho, Shiva 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 Shambho, Shiva 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 Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho. We have this idea that master cows are sacred in India. There are many people who believe that when we talk about India and about ahimsa, non-violence, it's okay to eat butter, it's okay to eat ghee, because if India does it, and if India, meaning the culture, and if they observe this value of non-violence, it's okay for us. So now I am going to invite here an activist, a vegan activist, an Indian vegan activist, so we can talk to him and listen about the reality that is going on in the dairy industry in India. So we can realize, especially if we are yoga practitioners, that we cannot accept being vegetarian. We cannot accept talking about ahimsa and keep consuming ghee. It just doesn't make any sense. So this person is somebody that I for long have followed, and I tried for many, I would say years. I think it's been almost 2 years that I've been trying to talk to him, and eventually he got back to me and he explained that he is not used to see all his messages, and he accepted to have this talk. I'm a little bit late, but again, I'm thankful that he accepted. I'm going to invite him here. I'm so glad and so happy and so... it's just like, it's something like an embracing my heart that there are people doing what he's doing. So meet here. Let me... Okay, let's see if he accepts. I know that I'm a little bit late, but we talked. Aha!
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, how are you doing?
We're doing fine. We're very challenged here by recent... Anyhow,
Yes.
We talked about yesterday that we lost a very dear master baby, and this evening, unfortunately, we also lost a master cow who was rescued 2 months ago from the dairy industry. And Arvind, all of this just makes me very, very positive that we need to have this talk, that we need to talk to people about what's really going on. Because you know what people see? When we talk about everything that is going on here, people say, okay, but was just like one case. This doesn't happen like this in my country. Oh, this is fine. No, in India, the sacred master cow, no, it doesn't happen here. We can eat ghee, that's fine. So I think this is so important for us to talk about this, so then we can get to know what's really going on. And you are the person to spread this message, because you do just this wonderful job. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you so much. And how's the mother horse doing, if I can ask?
Of course, she's doing a little bit better. Thankfully, she is friends with, when we rescued her, she had a friend with her. And this friend, another master horse. And this friend of hers is helping her going through this pain. And another thing that we did yesterday, we spent some time just leaving her, the mother, along with the baby, alone. So then she could realize that the baby was not alive. And this made the difference, because now she's just like, okay, she's suffering, but she knows that the baby wasn't taken away from her. But she's recovering, but still we need to just embrace her. It's just a great pain.
True. No,
anyhow, it's happening everywhere. So thank you very much for asking. You're very kind.
Of course, yeah. So I'm doing good. How are you doing? How's everyone at the sanctuary, all the animals, overall, everything is fine?
Everything is fine. I mean, here, because we rescue them, and I know that it happens everywhere in the world. Usually when we talk about master cows and master bulls and even master pigs, we talk about beings that have commercial values to other people, of course. So when they decide to let us rescue them, they are in very poor condition. So every day here is just like fighting for their lives, because truly they have, just for the reason that they are here, it means that they had some kind of health problems. And we are just trying all the time to make them have a good life, in the sense of just a little bit better, you know, just in their bodies, because again, they suffer so much in these industries. They suffer so much, this exploitation, but we are good. We're fighting here the good fight.
Nice.
So tell us, please, how is this work? Because I can talk a lot of things about you. I know that you go from one school to the other. I know that you come from India. I know that you do a wonderful job just talking to people. Usually we talk to usually more adults, and I know that you talk to teenagers. This is the word. You talk to teenagers, and you have a very good communication with them. And again, we are talking about many subjects together. But I think the first question that I have for you is, when we look at the word, Arvind, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. My accent comes stronger than me. I would like you to tell us, from where do you get the strength? Because when we look around, we see like the world is just as crazy as it seems like, as never has been. I mean, it's just like crazier and crazier and crazier. And it's because we have gone crazy. I mean, we have lost touch of reality. We are not aware, or we are aware, but we do not want to talk about it or to change about the suffering of others. So my question is, from where comes your strength to keep faith in humanity? And the reason why I'm asking this is, when we are an activist, if we don't believe in humanity, we don't talk. You know, if we think that people are not listening, that people cannot change, we simply don't talk. So every time I see somebody like you that is talking, that is trying to do the job, that is just like that every day, okay, this is not the way, this is the reality, this is the truth. You have faith that we can change, that we as humanity, we can change. So can you share with us, because I'm sure that there are people looking at you and looking at the world and say, okay, I don't have this strength. I think just like everything is lost and I'm going to give up. So tell us, how do we keep strong?
Okay, so about being strong, my first motivation and introduction to veganism was through an activist. You must have heard his name, called Gary Yourofsky. He had a lecture called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. So that is the speech I saw by full accident in 2014. I used to be, unfortunately, a flesh eater, a dairy consumer, egg eater, everything. Used to wear leather, never. No, I used to be the usual animal lover. I know I love animals, but I will eat them all. That's me. That's how I used to be. So after seeing his video, I did not have any arguments. I could not say any arguments to what he spoke. And the way he spoke and the number of people he managed to change, especially in Israel, basically what happened in Israel was he lectured there and he managed to change, I think, thousands upon thousands of people. It's last decade, a gigantic transformation. So that is what motivated me the most. I saw the videos where the animals were being killed. I have seen that before, but I used to feel bad, but I would think, well, what can I do? But after seeing his video and seeing those videos with their eyes open and realizing that it's not necessary and that I am the one causing this, the entire world is turned upside down. It was the most horrifying and worst moment of my entire life to date. I have seen the documentary Earthlings. It is the worst I have ever felt in my entire life. Like the best way I can say it is, when I saw these videos of animals being killed, it is like how we feel if we lose a loved one. If someone in my family died, I would stop and think, how is the world still going forward? How is everything still the same? Because that person is gone and I'm in so much pain, and how come everything still goes on? So that's how I felt when I first went vegan. It was so hurtful to me. And that pain is still there inside of me every single day, because that is the reality of what's happening to animals. And as long as that's happening, I am going to be here doing this. I will stop when that stops. When people stop killing and exploiting and torturing animals, I'll shut up. But as long as you're going to keep doing that, me, myself, yourself, and many other vegans, we will not shut up. We can't shut up. It's not like we won't. I don't know how to shut up. How can I be quiet? You are literally killing and torturing creatures who are equivalent to you in all the ways that matter, in a scale that is not even comprehensible to the human mind. How can I shut up is my question. How? I can't. So I don't shut up. I keep doing it. That's where, and after seeing Gary's speech, I felt like there is this one human out here going out there getting hated by the media and many people talking bad about him, but he doesn't stop. He went on and on and on so bravely, thinking only about the animals, nothing else. He didn't care about anything else. And I was sitting here killing animals, eating them, and I was like, look at what he is doing, see what I'm doing. So I had to change. Seeing him was inspirational. And after seeing what's happening to the animals, till today, I cannot shut up, and I won't shut up. So that's how my mind works. I'm just wired that way.
That's excellent, because sometimes I realize that when we get in touch with their suffering, if we pay attention to our own suffering, we start to think like, okay, this is too bad. I don't want to see this. No, humanity doesn't have a chance. Everything is lost. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get depressed and sad. And when we do this, we are not seeing their suffering. So as you say, like, how can we shut up? How can we not look at them and look at ourselves saying, okay, it's difficult for me to see, it's difficult for me to talk about. It's not difficult for us, it's difficult for them. So I understand completely what you're saying, because yes, I totally agree. We cannot shut up. And if we do, and if we, not as activists as Arvind is talking here, or as I here, because I have this sanctuary that I'm connected, that I'm guardian of, we as humans, we cannot shut up. It doesn't matter if you're an activist, if you are, again, as a guardian of a sanctuary, it doesn't matter if you are a mom, a daughter, somebody working, it doesn't matter who you are. You cannot shut up. We cannot shut up when we look at injustice. We cannot, because if we do, we are part of it. So thank you so much. And you are very inspiring. You're talking about Gary, and yes, I agree. He's very, very inspiring. He inspires me too. But you too inspire many people, and I'm grateful that you are out there doing what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tell me something. Because we talked about this, sometimes people say, okay, but this is something. Okay, you cannot shut up because you are Arvind. Or you cannot shut up because you, Patricia, you are there. You cannot shut up. But the reason, I think the question that I have here for you is, what is it to be an activist? Because sometimes people think that it's an amazing job that they are not fit for. And what do you think it is? Anyone can be an activist. So what is this profile that we need to have to be an activist? Can you talk a little bit more about what is it to be a vegan activist or an animal activist?
Animal rights activist. Yeah.
Yes,
so
that's it.
About being an animal rights activist or a vegan activist, what I would like to say, I think the first thing that many people in the world need to realize is that as an animal rights activist, you first need to be a vegan, because there are plenty of people who rescue cats and dogs. They will rescue wild animals, but they will kill and eat chickens, cows, and pigs. They will torture and other animals, other species, while saving other species. Like, that is the height of insanity. There is nothing more insane than that. That is like me saying, I have an orphanage. I am going to rescue orphan children and keep them, but only children who look like me. Other children, I will beat them, I will make them do slavery, and I will make money from them and feed these children.
Yes.
It's insane. Again, you and me think it's insane, but that's the norm. That's the world we live in. So what's happening is, first thing is, you be a vegan yourself, all the animal rights activists. Because if you are not a vegan, you are not an animal rights activist. Sorry, number one. Number two, if as a vegan activist, please promote veganism. Like you said in the beginning, we must not be promoting vegetarianism, which we will come into later. We must be promoting veganism. And I think it is important to focus primarily on a few animals: cows, buffaloes, chickens, pigs, goats, ducks, sheep, fish and all marine life. Because these are the animals that are being killed and bred and enslaved in the billions. When it comes to dogs and cats, I agree. They have a lot of suffering, a lot of wrong things, elephants, and so many other animals in the world, like parrots, are being I know because you're from Brazil. So many parrots are being kidnapped from the forest, putting into bottles. They bring them here, and people here buy and keep those Brazilian parrots. So, of course, we need to talk about that. We need to save the parrots. I am completely supporting that. But before that, I think we need to look at the biggest victims, and that are chickens and fish. No one talks about them. So please make sure the majority of what you promote is veganism, because that's where the most number of victims are at. And not to mention, vegans not only do not eat animals, we don't wear animals, we don't use cosmetics from animals, we don't go to zoos, we don't buy pets. So being and promoting vegan in this one action makes such a vast difference. So first things, be vegan. Number 2, promote veganism. Number 3, do what you can. Now, different people have different strengths. I know I can speak well. You can put me in an audience in front of 5,000 people. I can speak. I have no stage fright. You can put me on TV, on news, and make me debate with people from the meat industry. I'll debate. I have no fear. But there are things I cannot do. For example, I am very bad at one-to-one conversations. Like, you're a vegan, I'm a vegan, we're friends. If you were a non-vegan, this conversation wouldn't be going for so long. Unfortunately for me, it won't. Unfortunately for me, I have a very small patience. I cannot tolerate bullshit and crap that long. I will give you information. See, I don't expect people to see a slaughterhouse footage and react just like me. Now, when I see it, it breaks my heart. I close my eyes. I feel like crying. It shakes me. But not everyone is like that. So I understand that. But logically speaking, there is nothing against veganism. Veganism is 100% scientific and logically sound. It meshes well with every religion almost. So what is the problem? So I think you have to find your strength. Some people are good at art. If you're good at drawing, draw plenty of pictures. One person comes to mind. I think he's from America. His name is Choice Bison. Have you heard of him?
No.
Choice Bison. He's a wonderful artist. He's an artist, so he makes art about this. There are some people who have the courage to actually go into slaughterhouses and shoot the videos which we show to change people. Well, hats off to them. There are many different ways people can do activism. Find out what your strength is and do that. Whatever it is, do something. Any effort you make is wonderful. If someone tells to me, like for example, my wife says that she cannot go on stage and speak the way I do, but she can show recipes. She can show how to eat healthy as a vegan, what different varieties, how to cook delicious food. So whatever you can do, anything. There are people who believe in direct action. They go to these places and restaurants and they scream and shout. See, my point is this. I don't care what kind of activism you do. As long as you are vegan and you promote veganism as the major part of what animal rights activity you do, I am in full support. Do what you feel will work for you. It should come from your heart. And after that, take some time and look and ask, am I changing people? Because if I was lecturing and doing so much and no one changed, what's the point? Right? We have to take a step back and see, am I making a difference? So when I receive hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails and messages saying, hey, I've seen your videos, I've heard you lecturing, I've gone vegan, I've seen you on TV, I've gone vegan, I'm like, it's working, so I might as well continue. So always make sure to be self-critical. I understand even within the vegan community, unfortunately, there's a lot of infighting among vegans, a lot of infighting, a lot of disagreements, a lot of fights. So it's okay if you don't like someone else telling you what to do. You ask yourself, am I doing the best I can do? Am I making the best an effort I can make? And am I making a difference? And if the answer is yes, please do it. I think all of us vegans who go out there and are making an effort, we're all making a difference because we have come a long way. How long have you been vegan, if I can ask you? How long?
Yes, for 10 years.
Okay, only 10 years. That's quite short, actually. That's actually very short, to be honest. So I'm 7 years. So, but when you look at the year 2000 and right now, people only used to eat tofu and rice. That's it. But nowadays, the vegan. So how? It's not because of just one person or one group. We all are making an effort. So everyone can make a difference. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Please get out there, make an effort, be vegan, promote veganism, and do what you feel you can do best. Those are what I would say as being a vegan activist. What I do, that's what I try to do, and you could do the same.
Yeah. And I think, Arvind, when we talk about this, I remember I started on vegetarianism because of yoga, because I come from yoga since I was 17. And back there, I remember we didn't have anything. So what you tell is very important for us to realize when we feel that sadness, thinking that nothing is changing. When I look back 30 years ago, because now I'm 47, when I look back, I realize how much changed. Then 20 years later, when I remember 30 years ago, when I used to talk about being vegetarian, people would ask, what was it? What was to be a vegetarian? People didn't understand. Today, when we talk, not even today, 10 years ago, when I made my transition, when I said, okay, I'm vegan now, I made this transition and I realized this is what I need to do, what everyone needs to do if we care for others. So when I started veganism, I used to say, okay, I'm vegan. People would never ask me, what is it to be a vegan? What I'm trying to say is that things are changing. Sometimes we don't realize because we are saying that, okay, we still have this 80 billion dying every year, and without talking about master fishes in the ocean and in the rivers, but things are changing. And this is important for us to realize, because if we don't realize, we might think that nothing is happening, that it doesn't matter if we talk or if we don't talk. So as you were saying, Arvind, we need to talk. We cannot shut up. And it's just something so beautiful to hear what you're saying. It doesn't matter what people will do. Just do something that comes from the heart. And of course, we need to have some alignment inside ourselves. So we cannot talk about veganism if we are not vegans. It doesn't have the same power. So the first person to change is ourselves. And then we start to inspiring others. It just makes perfect sense. You know, Arvind, somebody asked here, and actually is a friend of mine, Marcella, and I think it's an important question, because when I hear you, when I listen to you, I feel I have the same kind of voice, because I think that it's just so urgent that before I realized, I started just like almost shouting, you know, like, okay, we need to, we talk about enthusiasm, and I realize you talk from the same inner space. And then Marcella comes from this perspective, and from others as well, because you are seeing everything that's going on. And she asked here, how do you...
Just 1 second, please. Just 1 second, please. 1 second. Okay. Arfani. Thanks. I'm so sorry. Yeah, go on. I'm so sorry.
How do you keep from burning out? Because I realize, again, you have this enthusiasm, you have this sense of urgency, and I totally agree. I feel the same way. But how do you keep from burning out? Because what I see in activism, there are a lot of activists that do burn out. And we cannot burn out. Of course, if we do, we need to ask for help. But we cannot burn out in the sense that we need to be strong and firm, because there is a lot of work to do. So what can you tell to people that are eventually burning out? And again, we cannot lose anyone. We need to have more strength, more voices, more arms, more people awakening others and inspiring change.
True. So the short answer is, I don't have an answer for that question. I burn out myself. I think it's inevitable, because living in this world with so much cruelty and humans being willfully ignorant, that's the worst part. And people just not caring. I think human apathy can really affect our mental state, because we see the pain, we see the suffering, we are feeling that, but they don't. And not only do they not see it, they laugh, make fun.
Yes.
They fight. Like anti-veganism. What is anti-vegan? Why are you an anti-vegan? That doesn't make any sense. I understand you're not being a vegan, but you're against veganism. You're against people not killing animals. Does that make any sense? So the point is that you will face burnouts. I think I'm not the right person to answer this. I don't know myself. I face burnouts. Sometimes I stop doing work. I think also it depends on my own character, because I am a very sensitive person, and I never feel like whatever I do is enough. Like, I will never be satisfied after seeing all that I've seen happening to animals. Even if tomorrow, let's say, half the population of Earth becomes vegan, I'll be very happy, of course, but it's still not enough, right? Because there is still so much more to do. So with that being said, it's forever a perpetual sad state in the mind of vegans like myself. And I just have to work with it. It's hard. It's difficult. That's just the world. That's how life is. So if you need a break, take a break, but don't go entirely. That's one sad thing about Gary Yourofsky. I always feel like he left. You know that, right? He completely he left activism. So I guess it comes down to personal ways of how you handle it. Some people, sometimes just stop working. I don't do any more activism. I stop making videos for like a few weeks. I try to relax, but even then my mind will still keep thinking, okay, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. You're like, that. I don't know, it's some imposter syndrome or whatever is what they call it. So I'm a bad person to answer this question. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer.
That's okay. I think this is real conversation, you know. We are not here to be perfect and to have all answers. We are here to talk and to be true to ourselves and to inspire. I think it's very good actually that you say that you do not have an answer, because it makes me revere your person, you know, to respect even more you. Because I'm a little afraid when I ask questions to people and people have answers to everything. It's just like, okay, you do not look human. And I think part of our humanity is this, is not have answers to everything. It's just like doing the best we can and moving forward, as you said. If we need to take breaks. If you need to just like take a deep breath, but just keep going, you know, and for everyone, it will happen in a way. So
I can add one thing. See, I respect all vegans out there, because you have now taken a stance to stand against the entire world, your family and friends, by just saying you're vegan and not choosing to eat and wear what they eat and wear. But many vegans are selfless enough to realize that we should not hurt animals, but only very few vegans are selfless enough to now keep their own desires and life aside and do activism. Because understand, when you do activism, you are keeping aside, like, I take time out of my life. I can be selfish. I can start my own family. I can just focus on earning more money, buying a house, being rich. I could have done all of that. I know if I do that, I will go insane. I won't be happy. My place is here. So I know vegans are already doing so much by just being vegan, but to all the vegans watching, be more selfless, please. Because you are the only hope these animals have. They have no other hope. So try to be more selfless is what I can say.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And Arvind, I have other question about India, because again, there are a lot of people following us because of yoga, because I've been from this background. And I realized how difficult it is to talk to them about veganism, in the sense that, okay, what are you talking about? Because India has been vegetarian since Shiva, since Krishna, and that's okay to be vegetarian. And I said, no, it's not okay. Look what is happening. No, but the master cow in India, they are so well treated, and they give milk, and their children, they grow old, and all these things. It's like, no, it's not happening. So I would like you to tell us about what is this about sacred cow in India, because I've seen people beating up master cows in India. I've seen dairy industry in India. I've seen master cows that could only stand up and lay down because they have ropes around their necks. So it doesn't look to me that it's ahimsa, that it's no violence. It doesn't look to me that it's okay to be vegetarian. So can you talk to us about what's going on in India, so we can really see things as they are and really go from vegetarian to veganism?
Okay, so the first point I'd like to make for all the viewers watching who are not Indian, I'm speaking on behalf of all the cows and bulls and buffaloes and calves here in India, that all the stories you've heard here about humane farming of milk in India is a lie. I can vouch to you right now, it is a complete lie. They are literally bullshitting you. They're completely lying to you. There's no truth here at all. You have to understand, first of all, let's go with what is said in the Hindu texts like the Vedas and stuff. First thing is, they speak of something called Satwik milk. Being a yoga practitioner, I'm sure you would have heard this word called Satwik. So let me define what, for people who don't know what Satwik means. Satwik literally means in Sanskrit as pure. So people who want to follow yoga, spirituality, or want to reach a higher level spiritually, they are expected to follow a Satwik diet. A Satwik diet divides food into three parts, if I'm not wrong: Rajasic, Tamasic, and Satwik. Exactly, Satwik, Rajasic, and Tamasic. So Satwik food does not have any meat. It does not contain any eggs. Honey is permitted. Dairy is permitted. I'll get to that. Also, they do not consume onions and garlic and leeks and these kind of vegetables. So Satwik milk means the following. You have to take a female cow and a male cow and give them a huge pasture of land. And I mean huge, I mean like what you're having, you're saying like acres and acres of land to graze upon. And they will go there, roam freely, happily. You are never supposed to pull the cow, hit the cow, force the cow, speak ill to the cow, none of that. If the bull and the cow decide to mate, let them do so. You don't force that, which is what happens right now in India. Because understand that dairy is not some kind of social service. It's a business.
Yes.
It's just like how you have to show up at work every single day. A cow has to get pregnant every single year. She can't say, oh, I'm off this year. Sorry. She can't take a break. She can't take leave. It's because it's a business done by humans to enslave and use animals to make money. The animal has no choice. The animal has to comply, or she or he will be forced to comply through horrible physical violence. Now, what happens is once, imagine in the Satwik land, she does give birth. Now, the calf is allowed to have the first milk, how much ever the calf wants to eat. And once that's done, if she permits you, you are allowed to go and milk her udder. That means you have acres of land, giving her so much food and water. She may or may not get pregnant. And after getting pregnant, you wait for 9 months. Baby is born. Baby drinks milk. Now, if she permits, you go and milk her. You will hardly get even 1 liter of milk if you're lucky. No way. There is no way on earth any cow can produce more than that. So unless she's been genetically modified. Now, that's again, that's completely wrong. But so that is called a Satwik milk. That is what people used to use. That's what said in the ancient text. All these rishis, they used to use this milk and try to churn as much butter or ghee out of that and use that in their food. Satwik milk does not exist. It doesn't exist. The number one, I don't support that either way. As a vegan, I still think we should not be taking anything from animals, no matter how we treat them. It's irrespective of treatment, we should not be taking anything from them. But first of all, even if you did believe that, you are a Hindu, or you believe in yoga, you believe in cows, you don't get Satwik milk. If you are going to a shop and there is a packet of milk or a carton or a tin or a bottle which has a picture of a cow grazing on a huge land, they are first of all lying to you. That company is 100% lying to you. That doesn't exist at all. So that is what Satwik milk is. Does not exist anymore. So people comparing the milk they get right now and thinking and saying that, oh, but Indians said milk is okay. That's not what we said. That's not what Hindus said. Hindus asked you to drink Satwik milk. They didn't ask you to drink the current madness in which cows are forcibly tied up, forcefully made pregnant, have their babies taken from them forcefully. If it's a male, murdered, injected, and then milked. What is that? How does that come under yoga or Satwik or Hinduism? Not even one bit. And not to mention, once this cow cannot give enough milk to be, like you said, you save only injured cows because they'll send them to you once they're sick. Do you think those cows are lucky? Majority, if not all those animals are sent to the slaughterhouse. They don't go to a retirement home. In India, they were supposed to be sent to a goshala. A gao means cow, and goshala is a shed where they keep all these cows. So once a cow, they don't want to kill the cow, so they'll send the cow to a goshala. Similarly, cow is known as gau mata. Gau meaning cow and mata meaning mother in Sanskrit. It means cow mother. She's revered as a mother. So if you believe in this and you also feel a cow is your mother, ask yourself, why on earth would you pay some crazy human to forcefully make a cow pregnant, aka rape her, then take her baby from her, kill that baby and torture her and milk her? So don't use this example that, oh, Indians and Hindus drink milk, so it's okay. That's different. That's completely different. I don't agree with that. Still completely, that's nowhere near what's happening. If you go to a store and choose to buy any dairy product, milk, ghee, butter, curd, cheese, paneer, ice cream, chocolates that have milk, all of them come from the cruelty I just mentioned. So do not lie to yourself. It doesn't exist. It doesn't work. So that's my answer.
Yeah, thank you very
and
much.
About what you said, they do tie these, they treat these animals in dairy farms. Like, at sometimes it's wrong to compare. One would think if I had to choose to either be a cow in a dairy farm or a chicken in a slaughterhouse, sometimes one would think I would rather choose to be a chicken in a slaughterhouse because it's one shot, I'm dead. These cows go through eternal hell.
Yes.
Understand that she is a complex animal, a mammal with a big brain. She can think and feel like us.
Yes.
And she is made to stand on her own feces and urine. Like you said, she can barely stand.
Yes.
And like the amount of mental trauma, I see these cows, many of these cows, they abandon on the street. Some people don't send them to slaughter in India, so they abandon. I recently saw a cow. I sadly could not rescue her. I tried hard, but I couldn't. She had this on her hoof, this weird maggot formation, limping on the road, giant without one leg. Like, you cannot see that and then say, oh, it's okay, I'll drink milk. That's not how it works. You are supporting a different system. And even if you said, okay, I will now get a cow and do all of this, you really think that's practical? You really think it's practical for people to have acres and acres of land, and then somehow, where will you get the cow from? If you're going to buy a cow, that's again wrong. You have no right to commodify and exploit and sell another creature. It still won't work. It's not feasible. The time of ahimsa milk and Satwik milk is over. Veganism is the only way to live as a human being right now if you want to be ethical to animals. There is no room for vegetarianism at all. It doesn't exist.
It's very important to hear this from you, Arvind, because again, when we are talking about, especially here in the West, yoga has grown so much. And because yoga has grown, so people are just like talking about vegetarianism, saying, no, that's okay, because India has this thing about ahimsa, and if they follow ahimsa and they drink milk, so it's okay. So we need to see, and again, it's important because you are from India and you are seeing everything that is there, so people can get in touch with this, because as you said, it's just like a lie. People are lying and defending their business. They are not defending master cows, they are not defending calcium, they are not defending anything. They are defending business and
money.
Business. When you talk money, exactly. When you talked about a work, for instance, a job that we have, we go there and we get paid. When we talk about them, and this term that you use about is slavery, because they don't get paid, they are not doing from free will, because this is other thing. We talk about give milk, they give milk. They do not give milk, they produce milk for their baby. It's just like people don't get. So I think it's important every time that we talk, because from my experience, sometimes people need to listen to this many times. So then it started just like, okay, I think I'm starting to understand. So thank you so much for this. And I question, what is your impression? It's just like out of curiosity, because when I go to India, the first time that I went to India, it was 20 years ago, the first time. And I had these romantic ideas about what India would look like because of the Vedic scriptures that I read, that I studied. And when I arrived there, I realized that, for instance, we are talking about master animals, but you also have a society that don't look at women with the same rights that men have. So in your opinion, Arvind, what is going on in India? Because again, you have all these scriptures, you have this ahimsa, and you have these values, and you have the wishes, and you have, and it seems that we have theory and we have practice. And I'm feeling that I'm talking to somebody who has practice and theory. So can you just like enlighten the subject, thinking of how do we prevent ourselves to just have all these writings and these perfect books, and when it comes to practice, we're just like, okay, we don't care for these writings and for these books. Can you talk about what's going on, what happened, and what do you think the problem is when we have values that we don't live by?
Okay, so the first thing is, I think it's very important for people all over the world to not have this romantic idea about India. Understand that we are human beings, and unfortunately all humans are disgusting. Majority of all humans, let's be very honest here. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or make people feel uncomfortable, but majority of all humans on earth are disgusting, selfish people. That's just who our species is. We may speak different languages, look a little different, but we all behave pretty much exactly the same. So Indians are basically being like human beings. That's what I can say. So, and regardless of where you go in the world, be it when it comes to sexism or patriarchy, speciesism, racism, in India we have something called casteism, where we segregate based on something else, that is the work and labor that people do. So there's a lot of long things, and we should not. So what I feel is that if we take any religious scripture from any part of the world, we can definitely find so many questionable things there, so many wrong things. So we as humans of the 21st century need to learn to step back and take only the good, think logically and rationally. Because there are scriptures in some religions that are asking people to kill those who are not of other religions. That's insanity. I don't know where these people, what happened in their times, what war zone they were in, but today it's not the same of how it was 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
There is no reason for us to take every single word verbatim from any religious book. read the book. If the book is making you do evil things, please put the book down. That it's not worth it anymore. If you're using the book or God as a rationality now to hurt someone, put the book down. It's messing with your head, because that's not how it's supposed to work. There are plenty of scriptures in Hinduism that do call for compassion and non-violence and equality and love and care to all. Let's take only those. Let's reject the wrong things our ancestors did, and let's move forward. I mean, there's nothing more we can do. And to ask why we are doing this, because we're humans, because we are selfish, because in this globalized world, be it a human from Africa or India or China or South America, North America, Europe, Australia, doesn't matter where, all humans behave and think the same. How can I make more money? How can I be more happy? And I don't give a damn about what I have to do or how many people I have to hurt and animals I have to kill and hurt to get that happiness. So that's where we are as a species right now, unfortunately. That's just where we are. So we need more people like us to not shut up, to be vocal, and hopefully open more people's eyes. So I think it's just humans. There's no conspiracy or there's no specific reason. It's just humans being humans. Sadly, that's who we are as a species.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree, because I think this topic about selfishness and also ignorance, that your books talk a lot about this. I think this is the cause, and this is not something, again, about being Indian or being Brazilian or being from
Chinese.
Like
we're all the same.
Yes.
But by all the same, I mean we're all equally evil. But equally evil is what I'm saying. Not in a good way. We're all the same, that we're all so bad. Like you can see so much racism in the world, people hating different countries and different people. But when it comes to killing animals and hurting them, all of them will join together. All world, all people, like all the humans become bullies, join, hold hands and bully the animals. So it's really sad. And same thing around the world. All the men will hold hands and bully women. They will not. All of us will hold hands, will not give LGBT people the same equal rights in society. It's the same everywhere in every society. It's the same.
Yes.
We're all very few good people. Most of them ignorant. Why I would say because of this. Because parents, first of all, if you question, if a parent is supposed, like as an Indian parent, I have parents, like if they were teaching me something I didn't agree with, or I found something wrong and I asked them, they don't agree they were wrong. They don't teach me something better. They tell me to shut up and listen to what they say. They slap me and say, don't you dare question us. Same thing happens with religious teachings. You cannot question a religious leader. You'll be ostracized. Same thing happens with politicians. Very few, we never hear the following words when we're growing up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. I'll change. I was wrong. No one says that. So therefore, as we grow up and we speak about veganism, people, they will not say to us, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I'll change. They'll say, no, screw you, I'll beat you. How dare you say that to me? Because that's all they've heard. It's conditioning. And in this regard, the surprising thing is that all humans are equally evil, and if I can use this word, equally stupid, equally selfish. But all, it seems that one characteristic that all humans seem to hold, be it men, women, gay, straight, lesbian, transgender, everyone's equally evil. It's so, when it comes to animals, it's so sad, to be honest. It's so sad, because you're saying that men do treat women wrongly, which is true, I agree, it's very wrong. But if you go to these women and say, hey, listen, you see how you're being treated wrongly, it's so bad, but you are treating animals that way. Please stop. Oh, how dare you compare me to animals? That's what the men are telling me. They're like, how dare you compare the woman to me? You're behaving in the same discriminatory way.
Yes.
So it's very difficult. It's just humans. It's in our, as a species, that's who we are, unfortunately. We are very cruel. Very, very, most cruel of all species. Psychotic species.
Exactly. And I think you brought something up here that is important for us to talk, because we talk about Indians and we talked about something like behaviors, saying how we treat women, as I brought it up about Indian culture. But I want to talk here also about, when we talk about behavior, we're not talking about a behavior towards someone. When we have a behavior, if I have arrogance, if I am arrogant, I'm going to be arrogant with a master dog, with a master cow, with a human. So the behavior is the same, but the manifestation is different. And we are talking about this global that you brought up now, besides talking about the behavior, about this global, this word. What I would like you to talk about, and I'm going to talk about here, when we talk about dairy industry in Brazil, when we talk about dairy industry in India, when we talk about dairy industry in someplace else, it's always the same, because as we are talking, humans are the same, master cows are the same as well.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
They're just not. Sometimes what is different is how they treat. For instance, in India, I've seen this, that they can only stand up and lay down, but here they cannot get out from a place and they cannot go to a pasture. So things are a little bit different, but in the end, the industry is the same. And what I'm talking about this is this, it doesn't matter if you, okay, so I'm not going to take ghee from India, but I'm going to take ghee from Brazil, because in Brazil they have pastures. No, every time that we're talking about ghee, we're talking about a master cow that needs to get pregnant, that didn't want to be pregnant in that way, inseminated and raped and all of that. She lost her baby. Her baby never got that milk. So it's the same everywhere. So I would like to hear from you in this sense, because I know here we have people from all over, and I don't want to make this something about India or Brazil. This is happening everywhere. Can you talk a little bit more about this? How to encourage people into veganism, no matter where they are?
Well, I don't have a magical or secret formula to make people vegan. I give people information. I be very honest, very direct. I don't lie. I don't bullshit. I don't think that helps by any means. I speak the truth. I think it's important that we teach people about nutrition, plant-based nutrition, because there's another huge lie that the industries have managed to inculcate into people's brains. From a young age, when we were children in our school books, that's what we read. If you want calcium, you have to drink dairy. If you want protein, you have to eat meat. If you want omega-3 fatty acids, you have to eat fish. No, you need nutrients. You can get those nutrients from other sources. Your body needs protein, calcium, omega-3, and all the other nutrients. It doesn't need meat, dairy, eggs, honey, and fish. That's not what it needs. So the point is that it's because we have to break the misconception that we vegans are deficient. It's possible to get all of our nutrition as a vegan, because there are many people who genuinely feel if they stop drinking milk, they'll fall apart, the bones will fall apart, they'll start losing their teeth. They do feel that way. So it's important we educate them on that. We need to raise awareness about the cruelty that is happening to animals, the process. I tell them what's happening in the egg industry, how the chicks are being killed, about how much industrialized animal agriculture is leading to global hunger and global warming. I speak about everything. I make them watch videos. And now, after being vegan for 7 years and doing activism now for 5 years, I have sadly come to a point where I just say, you know what, I speak to you, I give you the information, and I'm just moving on. I am not going to sit with you and argue and wait and see, okay, is she understanding? Did he get the message? What's he going to say next? Because I first had hope. When, who's that? Who when somebody went... Someone went by, I saw that. What's his name? He or her?
Aparecida, the name of a saint in Brazil. She likes to participate and to join all live streamings that I do.
That's nice. That's nice to meet her. So as I was saying, I first used to have hope in humanity. I used to keep hope and talk to people and expect change and wait. And that is I think after becoming a vegan, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I learned so much. I can't wait to go and share this to the world. I am sure I can change the world. The world hasn't changed because they don't know the truth. I'm pretty sure the moment I say the truth, they'll all change just like me. No. It's like the biggest shock I ever had in my entire life. So that's the worst shock, one of the worst shocks I ever had. Like humans, I know I sound like a broken record, but this is the reality. Humans are selfish. Humans are arrogant, horrible creatures. So with that being said, I would also suggest you, from my perspective, just be honest, give them the truth, the information, and then just move on. In the beginning, I used to be very angry, very vulgar. If someone didn't agree with me, or they would say, no, they're just animals, I would speak. I would ask them, like, oh, if someone came into your house today and tortured your own mother, how would you feel? I'll just, if I can use, I don't want to use these words in your live stream, like very vulgar words thrown at them, because that's how I felt. Like, how could you just stand this? How could you not change? At this point, I think the best word to say is I've sobered up. I've realized that that's only making me burn out. That's only making me feel worse. It's not. So my job right now is to be a broken record. I go, I give information, I leave. If people come back asking genuine questions, I just answer them. That's it. And this seems to be working right now for me. Is it working as much as I want it to work? No. But
No.
it is showing some results. I am getting hundreds of people reaching out and saying they've changed. So it's showing something, right? So that's all I can say. Be honest, be truthful, give them all the information. It's very important, especially about nutrition, because we have to educate them about plant-based nutrition. People are clueless. They also think, oh, you must need soy milk to be vegan. No, you don't. You don't need soy milk or almond milk to be vegan or get calcium. They think just because you don't drink milk, you now need a milk alternative or you need a meat alternative. That's not true. Whole foods, grains, legumes, beans, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, that's more than enough. We just need a B12 supplement. Apart from that, and sunshine for vitamin D. Apart from that, we get everything from plants. So that's what I would say for that.
That's excellent. You know, you talked about something else that I would like you to expose your thoughts a little bit more. You talked about global climate change. And you also talked about, there was actually somebody, I was trying to look for his comment, but I missed it. But the whole idea was, he was saying, okay, if we stop eating master animals, so then what will happen? Because we will not have what to eat. And then, so because sometimes people say this, that for instance, if we stop, what will happen to Earth? And then there is somebody else, that there's something else that happens also about how we plant their food, their meaning master animals. When we talk about this, we need to also talk about the environment. So environment causes, and meaning the global climate change. How do you talk about this? I just would like to hear your thoughts about this, because I think most of times we talk about veganism because of master animals, but I understand there are many people doing this change in their lives because of Mother Nature. So I'd like to hear your thoughts about this, your arguments about supporting a person who wants to go to veganism because of he or she realizes how important it is for the environment.
Well, I would encourage anyone to go vegan for any reason, because the animals in the end don't care why you are vegan. I don't think a pig right now that's going to be murdered as for speaking gives a damn whether someone changes for their health or for, but then again, if they change for their health, they're just plant-based. They're not vegan because they'll end up wearing leather shoes, because you can wear leather and still be healthy. It matters. You're not vegan, so that does, context matters. But in short, for people who say the statement like, if we all go vegan, we won't have enough food to feed Mother Earth and all the humans here. Here's the sad part. We right now artificially bring into this world 80 billion land animals, bare minimum, every single year, just to kill them and eat them. Now understand that these animals, they are extremely large and fat, because that way more amount of flesh is on their body, and so more profit can be made. Now they don't just breathe air and get fat. That's not how animal body works. You have to eat food. So what does the animal eat? Obviously, plants. So on average, in order to produce 1 kilogram of flesh, we need to feed them on average 16 kilograms of plants. Now, it ranges from a chicken to a cow. Obviously, the difference is bigger, but that's, I said, on average. So you have to understand that we right now on Earth are having enough food to feed 80 billion animals. These animals will never starve. They don't starve, by the way. We mistreat them, but they never go hungry. They never miss a meal. They're always well fed, and they also drink a lot of water. However, you're telling me that today alone, there will be thousands, if not millions of humans all over the world who will die due to malnutrition and lack of food. So we have enough food not to feed 80 billion animals, but not a few million humans. It's because we are taking the food that could have been potentially fed to them and instead feeding them to artificially bred animals, and then murdering those animals and getting a small portion of food in return. So by eating meat and consuming dairy and eggs and all other animal products, not only are you as a human being showing apathy to animals, but also to your own species. It's because of your selfish actions that some human out there, some child out there in Africa or India or any other country like Yemen is now starving, not having enough food. And like you said, you are from Brazil. It's because of idiots from my country and all around the world that your country, the Amazon forest, is being cut down. The idiots in my country are the reason why your forest is being cut down in your country. So think about that. So it's because we need to clear acres and acres of forest land in order to produce these and use those lands, fertile lands now, to produce soy, because they say, oh no, soy is the #1 cause of the Amazon rainforest depletion. Vegans drink soy, so vegans are the cause of it. No, 97% of all soy, corn, oats, and many other grains and food, legumes produced are used as animal feed. That is where these foods could have been used to feed millions of people, but instead you get a small portion. So if that, imagine this. Imagine if I say this to students in a classroom, I'm talking to them. Imagine if there was a poor family standing next to me right now, and they say to me, "Sir, please give us food. We're starving." And I have behind me around 5,000 grains, so many different grains and legumes and vegetables. And I say to them, no, I'm so sorry, I can't feed you. I want something tastier. So I've done torture, artificially breed a cow into existence, force feed her baby all this food while they are starving and crying, and then kill that baby and eat a small portion of flesh because, it tastes so good. That's why I repeat, it's not just apathy towards animals, it's apathy towards your fellow species and to the planet itself. So let's just say you don't care about animals. Okay, fine, I can't change your mind. Do you at least care about humans? If yes, the first thing you should do is stop consuming meat, dairy, and eggs. Stop supporting the number one industries. The industries were the number one cause of global hunger on Earth. Horrible, disgusting industries run by psychopaths. I'm sorry, I'm just getting pissed off when I talk about this. Who not only torture and murder animals, but also are brainwashing you so much that you now feel your taste buds and your pleasure is more important than a fellow human starving. I mean, these are the things we have to think about. So that's my answer to that.
Yes, that's perfect. That's perfect, Arvind, because again, I think we are just blind. We just don't want to hear. We are just like so caught up in our daily routine.
We don't want to hear. That's the truth. We are willfully ignorant. We don't want to hear. Not that we're blind. We're not blind. No. Everyone sees. We pretend not to see. It's because that we pretend to walk with the majority. So.
Yes. So I think it takes a little bit of courage, and I think it takes a lot of compassion, and I think it takes whatever we have inside of us to really, as you said at the beginning, we need to be less selfish, because if we are selfish, we're just thinking about ourselves. So the environment doesn't matter. If we are selfish, master animals don't matter. If we are selfish, other humans don't matter. But if we are starting to see others, and we have the courage to see, because as you said, we can see, but we choose not to see. If we can really pay attention to what is being said, and something that you said is just like, it's always something that makes me smile, in the sense that, why can we listen to this? And it's about how can we feed 80 billion master animals per year, and we cannot feed 8 millions of people. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense. So when people say, okay, we're going to go hungry, no, we're just like, this is a lie, as you said, and we need to think. And this is something that I believe is part of the problem, Arvind. I think we do not think anymore. When you talk, you use very much the word logic. You talk about reasoning. You talk about a lucidity that I see very much in you, but I don't see this in many people. I think we're just like falling asleep, and every now and then we're just like, oh, somebody talk to me, and then we just go to sleep again. So I think it's important for us to question, as you said in other part of the conversation, have the courage to question the lifestyle that we have, the world that we live in, the suffering of others. We need to question, otherwise we are going to continue to be this horrible human being, as you put, and not change anything.
We don't do this because there's another reason why humans don't question this. There is zero penalty in what they do. They understand that we live in a society where we understand, for the most part, harming a human child is wrong. Child abuse is wrong world over, everywhere. So if I harmed a child right now, I will be thrown in jail by the government. My family would disown me. And I will be on the news and everyone will say, he's a bad person. But guess what happens if you harm animals? Nothing. You face no social consequences at all. You face no legal consequences. If anything, the government promotes it. Hey, please go kill more animals. We'll pay you. You're raising the economy. So it's an incentive. So in this scenario, the animals are just... like you said, should not burn up. But the more I talk about this, the more irritating and angry it makes me. And look, and the thing is that I have been here long enough. I feel this feeling every single day of my life. I'll probably feel it till the day I die. I learned to live with it. But it's very sad. The reality is it's extraordinarily disappointing. Like,
Yes, I share your pain, truly, Arvind. I feel when you talk and when you raise your voice, when I feel your enthusiasm again, I relate to you because it burns in me as well. You know, it's just like a burning, it's something burning inside.
I
And
understand.
as much as we try to talk with logic, with reasoning, with whatever, it's it's like shouting inside of us. So it's just, it's how it is, because when we really feel their pain, it's just no way back. We cannot see their suffering and just say, okay, that's fine, the world is a sad place to be. It's just like, okay, we need to do something. And this is something that I would like all of us listening to you displace inside of us. I would like us all to go to this place. It's not something that we are going to list to Arvind and say, okay, life is sad, look what we are doing to master animals, look the horrible things we are doing to the environment. It's some other place that I would like us to visit inside of us. Just like, okay, all of this is happening, what can I do? What can I do? Because if we do not do anything, things will not change. Arvind, I see that we are we are almost 1 hour here, and I thank you very much for waiting for me. This two past days like crazy. So I have two things actually. I would like you to know somebody here that is very kind, and I know he's going to. This little boy here, he was rescued.
Buffalo boy or cowboy? Is he a buffalo or a cow?
No, he's actually a bull. He looks like a buffalo, but he's
he's a bull. Okay.
But
it's very beautiful, very beautiful.
He's a sweet boy, and he was rescued from the dairy industry, and he spent 5 days alone in the pasture, abandoned. People didn't care for him, and when we got him, he had this infection so bad that he has now arthritis in 3 of her 2 legs and 1 arm. So he moves with very much difficulty. And I think
How old is he? A few months? How old is he? A few months old?
3 months. 3 months old. 3 months old.
Like I told you, like if you were to do that to a human child, okay,
yes,
the whole world will stop. The whole world will just stop.
Yes.
There's no consequence for doing that to him. He means nothing. Apparently, his life has no value. So
exactly.
I'm happy to see him doing well, but
it's sad, and he has just like difficulties to walk. But the reason why I am showing him, I'm presenting you to him, I think it is in my heart just as much as it's in his heart to thank you for what you're doing, because I know that you are saving them. I know that you are making the world a better place for them, and we cannot thank you enough for this. Sometimes people say you need to rescue more master animals, and I talk very much about raising awareness, because we do not have a space to rescue 80 billion master animals per year. No sanctuary can, no matter where we are on earth. What we need to do is to realize our part on what is happening. And when we listen to their stories, when we look into their eyes, to really go to our own hearts and ask ourselves if we want to be part of this crazy world. And if we do not want to be part of it, we must go vegan. There is no other way. There is no other answer. This is the only way to go. Okay, Arvind, I would like you to just leave us a final message after all great things and beautiful things you said. And it was just so inspiring talking to you. I am a huge fan of yours. I actually knew about your work. I was in India 3 years ago, and I met a girl in a bus. And when we stopped to eat something, I said that I was vegan. And that I am, but I'm talking just about back then. I said, yes, I am a vegan. And she said to me, oh, you're a vegan. There's somebody here that talks about this. And then she presented me to your work. And I started to follow you. And I'm so glad that you accepted to have this live streaming and to talk. Again, I'm a huge fan of yours. I can imagine what it is for you in an Indian society to be a vegan and an animal rights activist. So I just would like to hear a final message and voice here my respect to you.
First of all, thank you so much for saying that. You're saying a lot of nice things about me, and I guess I'm not very good at receiving compliments. I just say thank you. I don't know what else to say, because I think both myself and yourself, like, we don't do this for the compliments. We are not doing this to be famous or popular. If anything, the way I speak makes me not popular because I'm in your face. So, but the point is that about you also, I must say, I really admire your work. Sometimes you are saying that you are rescuing animals and you feel that, oh, it's important to raise awareness. I sit here raising awareness and feel like, man, maybe I should be rescuing animals, because I don't know if I'm making a difference. Like, people are changing, but not enough. So maybe I should sometimes I think maybe I should just give up teaching people and just rescue at least like 100 animals and just keep them happy. So I really love and support what you do. There are really very many amazing sanctuaries in India as well. I'll send you links to all of them. I have a really close friend. So I think you would definitely like him a lot. Like, they do just as amazing work as you do. So first of all, I have deep respect for you and all the work you do, all of your staff and volunteers, amazing people. Much love and respect to all of you. Very nice to see. When I see people like you, it makes me think, because this is where we understand that as humans, we connect not because of how we look or our religion, but rather because of our beliefs and our character. Because you are someone from the other side of the earth, but you believe the same thing I believe. You think and feel the same way I feel. So to me, you are like family.
Yes.
Seeing a fellow Indian on the street who I talk to and then they say, no, just piss off. I'll continue killing animals. They can't feel pain. Plants feel pain. They might be my race. They might be my country people. But I think we and other vegans are family, because you guys, we think the same thing. And in the end, we stand for them. And all I can say to everybody watching this is, the most important thing you can do in your life right now to make a difference for the animals is live vegan. Please, if you are a vegan, I would request you please to support sanctuaries like what Patricia is having here, and any sanctuary, you can please give them donations, because I know how difficult it is. I know how much expensive it is to take care of the animals, their veterinary care, the food to feed them. You probably wake up in the morning at 4 and go to bed at 2. There must have been days you do that. It is so difficult, covered in urine and poop, because you've been taking care of so many animals, feeding them. Sometimes you probably break down and cry. So I think you are an unsung hero. We need to probably one day do a live stream talking to you about the difficulties you face, because what you face is definitely more difficult than what I do. I think because physical work, actually taking care of these animals and looking at them, breaking down, seeing their suffering in your eyes, because it's easy for me. You know why? I can give a lecture, or I can just show a video, and when the video is playing, I can close my eyes. I don't have to see what you see every day, rescuing animals. So much love and respect to all the vegans out there, all the rescuers. All I can say is, let's all keep doing what we're doing. Yeah, be a robot. I'm a robot. I am a broken record. I am not going to stop. I'm not going to shut up. And I'm going to work very hard, give it my absolute all. Like, even if we don't win, I'll make sure that the meat industry and dairy industry realize that there are people out there fighting. We don't give a shit. Okay, we will fight, and we will do anything to take you down. We're not scared, and we will put in the effort, and we will hit you where it hurts. We'll hit you, because when you lose money is where it hurts. So we'll hit you, we'll make your customers change. Okay, so warning to all the industries out there in the world who torture animals, we'll make your customers change. We'll hit you where it hurts. We are not going to shut up, and we'll keep fighting, and let's just hope that the future is a better future for animals. That's it. What more can I say?
You are a great person. You are lucid. And I hope one day, if the opportunity comes, I know that you have this pandemic going on, but I want you to know that as family, as you said, because I think we have a vegan global family, and I totally...
We are family. We are family, 100%, yeah.
Yes. So please come stop by our sanctuary. You'll be embraced here by 140 master animals, plus our whole team. And just please keep going and doing what you're doing, because it's just like, it's changing the world. And we are greatly thankful for your work.
Thank you so much. And I have one request, if I can ask you before you go. One last request. Are there any pigs in the sanctuary? Pigs.
Yes, we have.
Can I please meet them before I do? Okay, I would like to meet one of them if possible. Can I meet one of them right now if possible?
Yes, just one second.
Okay, I just want to meet.
Of course, just 1 second.
I have never met a pig in real where I could hug or pet them. So to me, that means I have met buffaloes, cows, donkeys. I've hugged so many animals, but never a pig.
Never a pig.
Never a
That's
pig.
so
So pig
exact.
means very special to me. Pig is, I'm still waiting for that pig. So,
we have here 11 of them. I'm going to, let's see where they are. Usually they are here.
In fact, I told my friend in India who has a sanctuary, if he ever rescues a male pig, he has to name the pig Arvind. I've made the request already. So we're waiting.
I
We're
will
waiting on that.
remember this, the next one we rescue here.
Please. Okay. My request is any donkey or pig or buffalo. Because everybody seems to look at these three animals in a hateful way. Oh, you're a donkey, you're a pig, it's a vulgar word. So I want to be a donkey, a pig, or a buffalo. I don't think they're vulgar. I think they're beautiful. So
They're beautiful.
I would be.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to show you a scene here, a very beautiful scene.
Okay. Oh. Oh, I wish I could come there right now. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And here.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Let me just one second.
You're lucky. You're so lucky to be with them. You're so lucky to be in their presence. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh. What is the gentleman's name?
I cannot listen to you right now. Okay, just. Sorry. Now I can listen.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so happy now. I will sleep a good night's sleep tonight. I'm so happy. The pig will come in my dreams. I'm so happy. Amazing. Amazing. Beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
That one there.
Yeah. They're all sleeping.
And this one here. And we have others here as well. So, I mean, they are everywhere. We have master horses because, as you said, veganism is not a diet. So it's part, we need to talk about leather. We need to talk about riding master animals. We need to talk about all of this. So we have plenty of work to do. That is the truth. And we need to look at this work and not be afraid of the work we have to do. We need to be courageous. We need to be strong. We need to do whatever it takes to change this world. And you're doing it in such a way. I hope we have other opportunities to talk, Arvind. And I
definitely, surely.
Maybe sometimes, you know, something that I would like to, that's something that we talked here. You talked about a dear friend of yours who has a sanctuary in India. And maybe we could schedule a call among the three of us, talking about these different difficulties that we have in activism and how we can unite forces to be stronger in our message to change people and inspire people. I don't know, it just come up as an idea. If you think that it's something that speaks to your heart and to your friend, of course, just please let me know. It will be wonderful to talk to you again.
I'll definitely ask him, but his English is very weak. He doesn't speak good English, but we can try.
Yes, we can try. I mean, I do not speak good English either, and we are communicating.
You're pretty fluent. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good talking to you. Have a good day.
We'll talk again. Om Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Goodbye, Arvind.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all.